Bone has been called the ultimate biomaterial, light, strong, capable of adapting to diverse functional demands. And if all that weren't enough, it is also able to repair itself. In large part, these impressive qualities can be attributed to the structure of bone, which some have compared to the reinforced concrete used to make buildings. One of the first steps in constructing a building is putting in place a frame containing long steel rods and then pouring cement around the rods. The ultimate result, a structure that is both strong and resilient. In much the same way, the spongy, mesh-like inner layer of bones provides resiliency, while the minerals that surround it, including calcium and phosphorus, provide strength. The outer layer of bone tissue, found primarily in the shaft of long bones like the femur or tibia, is known as compact or cortical bone. It consists of closely packed osteons, which are the fundamental functional units of most compact bones. It is the close packing of osteons that gives bone the appearance of being a solid mass. Osteons are roughly cylindrical structures, typically several millimeters long and about 0.2 of a millimeter in diameter. They are sometimes referred to as Haversian systems, named for Clopton Havers, the 17th century British physician who first observed and described these canal-like structures. The osteon consists of several components, including a central canal called the osteonic or Haversian canal. Inside this canal is a layer of connective tissue called the endosteum, which contains nerve fibers and blood vessels. Still other canals in the osteon, known as Volkmann's canals or perforating canals, connect the blood supply and nerves to the periosteum, which covers the surface of bones. Found within spaces of the osteon, known as lacunae, are mature bone cells called osteocytes. They are joined together by very narrow canals known as canaliculi in order to facilitate the distribution of nutrients and the elimination of waste. Canaliculi radiate outward like the spokes of a wheel. Surrounding the Haversian canal are concentric rings or lamellae of what's known as bone matrix, a combination of calcified intercellular ingredients. These ingredients include organic matter, chiefly collagen fibers, as well as inorganic matter in the form of what's called hydroxyapatite, which consists of crystals of calcium phosphate. It is the association of hydroxyapatite with collagen fibers that is responsible for the hardness of bone. Filling the interior of the bone is trabecular bone, also known as cancellous or spongy bone. Trabecular bone is far lighter and more porous than compact bone. The difference in density is especially striking. Compact bone comprises 80% of the total bone mass of an adult skeleton, despite the fact that trabecular bone accounts for far more surface area. Trabecular bone does not contain osteons, is usually found at the end of long bones, and is normally surrounded by cortical bone. Trabecular bone is composed of a lattice or network of branching bone spicules or trabeculae. The trabeculae are not penetrated by blood vessels, instead receiving their nutrition via diffusion from the endosteum, lining the bone marrow spaces between the trabeculae. While the arrangement of the trabeculae may appear to be random, it is not. The thickest and strongest trabeculae are arranged in the direction subjected to the greatest stress. It should be noted that bone tissue is formed and dissolved, a process known as remodeling or renewal, on a continuing basis. There are 3 types of cells found only in bone that play important roles in this process. Osteoclasts are large cells that dissolve bone by hollowing out a channel in the bone, a process known as resorption. Layers of bone-forming cells, known as osteoblasts, follow, laying down new bone along the sides of the channel. Finally, there are the osteocytes, which come from osteoblasts. Their job is to sense pressures or cracks in the bone and to help direct where osteoblasts will carry out the process of resorption. Ultimately, it is the balance between osteoclasts and osteoblasts that maintains bone tissue and makes bone homeostasis possible.